Hi, my name is Sarah Tanner, and in just a moment, you're going to hear the incredible story about how a 44-year-old woman who had been branded clinically infertile and whose own doctor proclaimed had more chance of winning the lottery than having children, stunned the world of medical science by giving birth to not just one, not two, but three beautiful and healthy children in the space of just 4 years. With no IVF, no IUI, and no medical procedure of any kind. In fact, in just a few seconds from now, you will discover why everything you thought you knew about why you've been unable to fall pregnant is downright wrong. And you will also be shocked and angry that the bizarre solution I'm about to reveal, which is scientifically and medically proven to dramatically improve fertility rates, has been deliberately suppressed by greedy drug companies and profit-hungry billion-dollar IVF clinics, who right now are doing everything in their power to keep it hidden from the public. As a result, this webpage could be taken down at any moment in order to stop you learning the truth about why you haven't been able to conceive. Based on breakthrough research carried out by a fertility specialist and reproductive endocrinologist working at one of America's most respected university research facilities, this highly controversial and counterintuitive discovery has already been used to help 16,786 women conceive and give birth to beautiful, healthy children, even though doctors and so-called fertility experts told them it was impossible. And despite the unparalleled success rate of this method, it can be carried out from the comfort of your own home without popping a single pill, with no need for medication of any kind, without having your body scrutinized, prodded, and poked by a single doctor or fertility specialist, and at barely any expense at all. So keep watching, because right now, whether you're in your late 30s or even 40s, have PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids, uterus scarring, ovarian cysts, poor egg quality, ovulation problems, blocked fallopian tubes, a history of miscarriages, or even a partner or husband with a low sperm count or low sperm motility, there is a proven way for you to conceive quickly, 100% naturally, and without the help of IVF or IUI, or any kind of medical intervention at all. In fact, thanks to the little-known fertility-boosting secret that you're about to discover today, you can be pregnant in as little as 30 days. Yes, I repeat, just 30 days. So whatever you're planning on doing right now, put those plans on hold for just a few minutes. Make yourself comfortable, and be sure to watch every single second of this controversial presentation. Because in as little as 30 days from now, you could be staring at that pregnancy test strip in open-eyed amazement, with pure joy, relief, and excitement coursing through your body, instead of frustration, disappointment, and anger, as you prepare to become a mother once again, or for the very first time. Hi. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Sarah Tanner, and a few seconds ago I told you about a 44-year-old woman whose own doctor said had more chance of winning the lottery than having children, gave birth to three beautiful children in just 4 years, with no IVF, IUI, or any kind of medical procedure. So how do I know about this story? Well, because that woman was me. And the three children staring back at you are my children. My two daughters, Abigail and Charlotte, and my son, Harrison. And if all this sounds too good to be true, I completely understand. In fact, I would have thought exactly the same thing if I hadn't seen the miraculous results of this method for myself. Or, in fact, the results that a massive 16,786 other women have already seen using this exact same method. Women like Dana Bailey of Des Moines, Iowa, who writes, "At 39, and after 7 years of trying and not being able to afford IVF, my husband and I officially gave up and looked into adoption. A friend of mine referred me to your website, and after just 47 days, I fell pregnant. It literally felt like a gift from God. In May 2015, I gave birth to our little miracle, a gorgeous baby boy who we named Joshua. If it wasn't for Sarah getting this information out to the wider world, I wouldn't have fallen pregnant. It's as simple as that. I literally can't thank her enough." And then there's Carol Martin from Richmond, Indiana, who wrote in to say this: "Dear Sarah, after trying to get pregnant for 9 years and approaching 40 years of age, I was running out of time. I'd already been through 3 traumatizing and costly IVF cycles that all failed, and I'd pretty much given up hope. My mother told me about your website, and after following your instructions, I found myself staring at a positive home pregnancy test within just 54 days. After 9 years of pain and torment and over $30,000 wasted on IVF, I am expecting my first baby in 2 months' time. Thank you, and God bless. And then there's Beverly Armitage from Southampton, England, who said, I just wanted to write you, Sarah, to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you've done for me and my husband. I have been fighting endometriosis and other infertility issues for years, and my gynecologist had told me that there would be no way I would be able to get pregnant naturally and should consider adoption, rather than putting myself through any more unnecessary pain. Well, I refused to give up and found your program in February 2014. In less than 2 months, I'd fallen pregnant, and on January 19th, 2015, I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Sophia, who weighed a healthy 8 pounds, 5 ounces. This has been nothing short of a miracle. Thank you so much, Sarah. Those are just 3 of the many thousands of real-life success stories I've received over the last few months after finally making this method available to the public, and I'll be sharing a few more with you later on in this video. But what you're probably very eager to find out about right now is what this 100% natural, safe, and incredibly effective treatment for infertility actually is, that most of the population have never even heard of, and how an average, unremarkable woman like myself with zero medical knowledge or training came to stumble upon it. Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm also going to show you the medical research that explains why and how it works so well. Research that will both surprise you and will probably make you extremely mad. But before I reveal exactly how you can massively boost your chances of conceiving in the next 30 days, I'd first like to tell you a quick story, for reasons that will become obvious to you very soon. And it begins on my wedding day. You see, from the day I got married to my amazing husband, Nigel, I wanted to have a family. And we didn't think for a second that something outside of my control might threaten that. We were two hardworking and determined people, and whenever we wanted to achieve something in life, whether it was to get good grades at school, a job, a promotion, or our first house, we simply worked our butts off until we made it happen. We knew that getting pregnant could take a few months, but it would happen. All we needed to do was work hard, if you know what I mean. But after 3 months of trying, we still hadn't had any luck. But being fully prepared for that, we kept on trying. And trying. And trying. But what started out as something fun and full of anticipation and excitement soon became incredibly difficult and frustrating. Sex became like a chore, a means to an end. It was passionless, mechanical, and neither of us were enjoying it anymore at all. But we had to keep going. After 9 months of trying and countless mornings spent crying over negative home pregnancy tests, our relationship started to feel the strain. I couldn't understand what was wrong with me and us. Why was I unable to fall pregnant when all my friends and family didn't seem to have any problem at all? I became angry, bitter, and short-tempered with my husband. I felt bitter and jealous when friends told me they were pregnant, and I couldn't stand hearing people talking about their children, how Charlie was smiling, how Amelia was walking, or how much Jack was loving his baby sensory classes. I wanted to scream at these people, who didn't seem to care how much frustration and pain I was going through, and how worried I was that I might not be able to have children at all. Yet here they were, flaunting all of their babies in my face, as if they were mocking me and my empty, childless womb. After more than 14 months of trying, I finally admitted to myself that I might have a serious problem, and Nigel and I contacted some specialist for advice. As it turned out, we didn't have just one problem. We had 3. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome, and my husband was told that he not only had seriously low levels of sperm, but also low sperm motility. I had a large amount of cysts on my ovaries, more than my gynecologist had ever seen before, in fact. I also had high levels of male hormones in my body called androgens, and I was unable to produce progesterone, a combination that was making it virtually impossible for me to ovulate. The endocrinologist I was seeing linked my polycystic ovary syndrome to abnormal hormone levels in my body and high levels of insulin. I was told to lose weight by cutting out high-fat foods and dairy, which, as I'll explain in just a moment, was the worst advice I could ever have got. But that wasn't the end of it. I was put on the fertility drug clomiphene to stimulate ovulation, but I reacted badly to it, experiencing horrible side effects like nausea and vomiting almost every day. After that, I was moved on to a drug called gonadotropins, but that didn't work either. All of this was spread over more than 2 years. Eventually, my own GP told it to me straight. He said that looking at all of our problems, our only option was in vitro fertilization, or IVF, and without it, I'd have more chance of winning the lottery than falling pregnant. It was a horrible thing to hear, but I'd asked her to be 100% honest with me, so I couldn't really complain. So Nigel and I started looking into IVF. But to say it was expensive was a massive understatement. We were told that it would cost us $17,000 to $18,000, and added to the fact that my husband's sperm was as fast and energetic as a drunken snail, the odds of us conceiving were apparently less than 5%. We had $2,000 in savings in the bank, and none of our family had anywhere near that kind of money to loan us. And we simply couldn't risk taking out a $15,000 to $16,000 loan for a 5% shot. After almost 4 years of trying for a baby, our dream of a family was over. I felt like a failure, unable to do the one thing that I was put on this earth to do. For weeks, I numbed the pain with alcohol, sitting alone on the couch, drinking myself into oblivion. I was angry, bitter, and depressed, and over the next few months, our marriage began to fall apart, as I was unable to cope with the realization that I would never have a family. But then, 7 months later, on one cold November evening, I got thrown a lifeline. I was lying in bed one night, knocking back my sixth glass of wine of the evening, when I randomly decided to turn on the radio. Almost immediately, I heard the presenter introduce a woman who claimed to possess the secret to fertility, a blueprint that would dramatically raise the chances of any woman conceiving, whether they had PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids, uterus scarring, ovarian cysts, poor egg quality, ovulation problems, a history of miscarriages, or anything else. And they could do it 100% naturally, from home, and with no IVF, IUI, or any kind of invasive medical procedure. Her name was Dr. Brenda Taylor, MD. Dr. Taylor revealed that while working at the Harvard School of Public Health in Boston, Massachusetts, back in 2007, her research team had been studying the effects of diet on fertility. They were determined to tackle the actual root cause of infertility and literally fix women from the inside out, rather than simply relying on medication or IVF, which was expensive and suffered from a low probability of success. She revealed that the biggest reason for the rise in infertility rates was because all the focus these days was on developing drugs to combat the problem, instead of trying to fix the root cause. Because, as she revealed, all of the major research institutions across America were funded by billion-dollar pharmaceutical companies. They wanted the cure to infertility to be expensive medication and nothing else. But Dr. Taylor's team had discovered something incredible. According to the study, which followed 18,555 women, her research team found that consuming dairy foods like whole milk, cheese, yogurt, and even ice cream reduced the risk of unexplained infertility by 27% and anovulatory infertility by a whopping 50%. But even more shockingly, the study found that consuming just 2 servings of low-fat dairy each day increased the risk of ovulatory infertility by a massive 85%. The conclusion was clear. Low-fat dairy foods increase the risk of anovulatory infertility, whereas an intake of high-fat dairy foods decreased this risk. But that wasn't all. Dr. Taylor was also involved in 2 other studies which backed up this research. The first study found that women who drank 3 or more glasses of whole milk a day were 70% less likely to be infertile due to failed ovulation. And the second study found that daily consumption of high-fat dairy products lowered the risk of miscarriage by an astonishing 33%. Dr. Taylor was onto something hugely significant. She believed that the majority of women were experiencing fertility issues because of one simple reason. They weren't eating enough fat. Now, I'm not talking about bad fats here, like the saturated kind or nasty trans fats that make you put on weight. I'm talking about good fats, which help the body absorb vital nutrients and provide essential fatty acids that the body can't make itself. And these good fats are absolutely crucial when it comes to trying to conceive. To put it simply, without these fats, your body simply can't absorb the essential nutrients that you need to make a baby. But the problem today is that millions of women who have been lied to by greedy food manufacturers trying to cash in on the weight loss craze are cutting out essential fats from their diet and eating low-fat foods instead, often without even knowing it. But these foods have been stripped of their essential fats and nutrients, and instead loaded with chemicals and sugars to improve their taste, which is damaging our reproductive systems and reducing our chances of conceiving with every day that goes by. As a result, our diets are now drastically lacking in nutrients and fats that are 100% proven to boost fertility rates, which our mothers and grandmothers used to eat in abundance without even being aware of it. And as Dr. Taylor went on to reveal, this obsession with cutting out fat has led to both men and women becoming dangerously deficient in other crucial vitamins and minerals too. One of these is vitamin D, which is found in fatty foods like fish oils, beef liver, cheese, egg yolks, and fatty fish in particular. To prove this, Dr. Taylor spoke about another study carried out by researchers from the Medical University of Graz in Austria and published in the European Journal of Endocrinology back in 2012. This study proved that vitamin D was absolutely vital to boosting both male and female fertility. The research showed that vitamin D increased the chance of conceiving, boosting the female sex hormones progesterone and estrogen, and helping to regulate menstrual cycles. And in males, vitamin D was found to increase testosterone levels as well as both the quality and quantity of sperm produced. She also mentioned a little-known Italian study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, which looked at women undergoing IVF treatment. This study found that women with healthy levels of vitamin D were twice as likely to conceive as women with insufficient levels. And another study on rats found that vitamin D deficiency reduced overall fertility by an incredible 75%. But the major problem women have today, as Dr. Taylor revealed, is that there are very few foods in nature that contain vitamin D, and people simply don't know what they are. And there are dozens more pro-pregnancy foods, Dr. Taylor continued, which are full of powerful fertility-boosting essential fats, which allow people to absorb the nutrients, minerals, and vitamins proven to dramatically increase their chances of conceiving quickly, easily, and 100% naturally. But again, people simply don't know what these foods are. When I heard about all this, I sat bolt upright in bed, dropped my glass of wine all over the covers, and ran to my computer. I had to get in touch with Dr. Taylor. If there was still a chance for me to have a baby, I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't let that chance slip through my fingers. So I searched all night for a way to contact her, but she was hard to find. And I don't mean difficult to get hold of. I mean impossible. She'd vanished. There were no references to her anywhere, and no contact details to be found. Why? This was a respected doctor, fertility specialist, and reproductive endocrinologist who worked at the Harvard School of Public Health, had led countless fertility trials, and had over 23 years' experience in the field. But she'd all but disappeared. I phoned everyone connected to the Harvard School of Public Health for help in getting in touch with her, but I was simply told to go away and leave them alone, that Dr. Taylor didn't work there anymore and hadn't done for years. But I wouldn't give up. I couldn't. I wrote letters, emails, left hundreds of messages, and waited, and waited, and waited. And then, when I'd all but given up hope, I received an email from an anonymous Hotmail account. It simply said this: "Hi, Sarah. I believe you've been trying to contact me. You might like to hear what I have to tell you. My number is..." And she left a phone number for me to contact her on. It was midnight by the time I saw the email, but I was so excited I had to call immediately. I dialed the number, and straight away I recognized the voice that I'd heard on the radio 3 weeks previously. Dr. Taylor explained that back in 2007, she felt that she was onto something truly revolutionary in the field of fertility research, a 100% natural, food-based roadmap to a quick and easy conception. She knew that if a couple started adding these fertility-boosting foods to their diet and cutting out the foods that were proven to damage their reproductive systems and making it harder for them to conceive, then she could easily help couples boost their chances of conception by 100%, 200%, 500%, 1,000%, and more. Her studies had shown what was possible. And seeing these results with her own eyes, spread across many years and hundreds and thousands of patients, Dr. Taylor had requested further funding to continue her research and devise a program that would slash infertility rates literally overnight. But when Dr. Taylor requested the funding from the Harvard School of Public Health, it was denied. When she asked why, she was told something that made her so angry, so appalled and disgusted, that she felt she had no option but to quit the research team and leave. That night, she told me that the head of her department had been amazed by the results of her research and the incredible potential that it held for women all over the world suffering from fertility problems. But when he'd requested funding on her behalf, he was told by his bosses that while they supported her findings in private, they couldn't publish them and they couldn't provide any further funding. Why? Because apparently, Dr. Taylor's treatment program didn't recommend taking any medication. And this was significant because 95% of their funding came from four major pharmaceutical companies who had made it clear that if Dr. Taylor's research continued and the results were published, every single cent of funding would be pulled. So why would they do this? Well, as Dr. Taylor explained to me, the big pharmaceutical companies are in bed with all of the IVF and IUI clinics, who make billions from couples struggling to conceive every single year. Let's take IVF as an example. The American Society of Reproductive Medicine, ASRM, lists the average price of an IVF cycle in the U.S. at $12,400. That's a lot of money for any couple, especially when the success rate is just 30%. But that's not the end of it. Because that's before you add on all the necessary medications that Big Pharma supply, which, according to the ASRM, typically run to another $3,000 to $5,000. And if you need IVF with donor eggs, for example, the national average shoots up to a whopping $26,000. With this amount of money being threatened, Dr. Taylor's research was not only being blocked by the IVF clinics, who were making tens of thousands of dollars from every customer, but also by Big Pharma, whose medication those IVF clinics were buying in order to sell onto desperate couples during the IVF procedure. And of course, that medication was sold at a huge markup. It all made sense to me. There was no way Big Pharma and America's major IVF and IUI clinics, which all pocketed billions every year from couples struggling to conceive naturally, would allow anything to threaten that income stream. They would fight tooth and nail to bury any kind of natural fertility-boosting program that didn't require medical assistance and drugs. And that's exactly what they did. But being the determined type she was, who wasn't about to be bullied by the big boys, Dr. Taylor refused to give up. She began to develop the treatment program herself, based on all of her proven, scientifically backed research, and after 14 months of work, made the first edition available on her personal website. And that's when things got really ugly. Within 48 hours, Dr. Taylor began to receive silent phone calls. There would be someone on the other end of the line, breathing menacingly, but he wouldn't say a thing. This happened dozens of times in the first few weeks. She then received a letter through the post, hand-delivered, with just the words, "For Dr. Taylor," written on a small brown envelope. The letter simply read, "Shut your mouth, or your family will suffer." But Dr. Taylor still kept her website up and her treatment program available. And then something really frightening happened. Out of the house on a medical conference for the day, Dr. Taylor came home to find her home had been broken into. The back door had been forced open, and somebody had been through every single room in her house. Every drawer had been opened, inspected, and thrown on the floor. Her office had been turned upside down and ransacked. Important research documents and hard copies of her treatment program had been taken. It was the final straw. Angry, scared, and fearful for her family, Dr. Taylor was forced to give up. She took down the website, moved house, and got a new job at a private independent medical research facility. As I listened open-mouthed to Dr. Taylor's story, I was itching to get more information, and I practically begged her to share her method for dramatically boosting fertility rates. After much deliberation, and after explaining everything I'd been through up to that point, she did. "I am not legally responsible for what you do with this," she said, "and I demand that you say nothing about this to anyone. You are not to mention my name at all." "Of course, I understand," I said. "Forget everything you've been told about the reasons for your fertility problems," she told me down the phone. So little is known and invested into finding a cure for male and female infertility because Big Pharma fund all of America's research institutions. So men and women are suffering all over the world without realizing just how easy it really is to reverse their fertility problems and fall pregnant naturally. "And one last thing," Dr. Taylor said. "Yes," I replied expectantly. "Don't give up. This will work. Stick to the plan and you will fall pregnant." I thanked Dr. Taylor and put down the phone, excited, nervous, and shocked by everything I'd heard. The next day, I was like a kid on Christmas morning. I just couldn't wait to get started and follow her system religiously. The exact combination of foods to eat each day for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and drinks. Which supplements to take, how many I should take, and exactly when I should take them in order to maximize their efficiency. Nigel and I started trying again immediately, every other night. We had no idea how quickly the program might work, if at all. We thought it could take months, but after 7 days we were both already starting to feel the benefits. We felt much more energetic. We were sleeping better and waking each morning feeling refreshed and revived. After no more than 2 weeks on the program, we felt like we'd been reborn. The difference in our mood, energy levels, concentration levels, and focus was incredible. And then on day 27 of the program, something miraculous happened. I woke up on a warm Sunday morning with the sun beaming through the window and felt different somehow. Could this be it? I wondered. Could this program really be this powerful? I decided to find out and took my first pregnancy test in months. I went into the bathroom as Nigel waited outside. And then it happened. We stood there in stunned silence. It was positive. We literally couldn't believe it, so I took another test. Positive again. 2 hours later, I took a third test, still not believing that it was real. Positive again. This was it. We were going to be parents. I immediately thought about Dr. Taylor and phoned her straight away to thank her. She picked up the phone and the first words she said were, "Worked, didn't it?" I laughed down the phone and immediately started crying, managing to pull myself together just enough to thank Dr. Taylor no less than 100 times. "We need to tell people about this," I said. "We need to get this out there. We can't keep this to ourselves. It wouldn't be right." After hearing the good doctor's story and then seeing the incredible results for myself, I was desperate to get the word out and help as many couples as possible who were struggling to conceive and being forced down the road of IVF, IUI, and expensive medication. I had to get this program to them. But at the same time, there was no way I was going to risk the safety of my own family, and I'd promised Dr. Taylor that I would keep her identity secret. So we made a decision. I would release Dr. Taylor's program to the world, and we would literally hope and pray that enough couples would find it and benefit from it before Big Pharma and the major IVF and IUI clinics discovered it. And that's exactly what we did. With Dr. Taylor's help, I worked solidly for 2 months to turn her original program into a comprehensive, easy-to-follow fertility boosting system, and we called it Fertility Unleashed, a natural, safe, and scientifically proven program for boosting fertility from home. This system describes the exact step-by-step process that I took to fall pregnant within just 27 days. After almost 4 years of trying without success, and after my own GP told me that I had more chance of winning the lottery than having a baby. Yet, thanks to this completely natural program, I gave birth to 3 healthy and beautiful children in just 4 years. In Fertility Unleashed, you will be handed the exact same system I used, complete with all the foods, ingredients, and supplements that have been scientifically proven to address the root cause of your fertility problems from the inside out, and dramatically boost your chances of conceiving in as little as 1 month. And crucially, this is a 100% natural and safe program, so there is absolutely zero risk. And what's more, we're not talking about completely altering your diet here, nor starving yourself. All you need to do is swipe out certain foods for others and add a few other natural, safe, and inexpensive foods, supplements, and herbs that are all available from your local grocery store. And that's literally all it takes to give your body everything it needs to conceive. And just imagine what that would feel like. Imagine being able to repair your body from the inside, renew every cell, and literally rebuild your entire reproductive system so that it's working at maximum capacity instead of the 5 or 10% that it's working at right now. Imagine being able to increase your chances of conceiving by 50%, 100%, 500%, 1,000% or more, and then watching in amazement as that pregnancy test finally gives you the result you've been craving for so long. And I'm not just talking about boosting your fertility here, but your partner's too, because recent studies show that male infertility is responsible for approximately 25% of all infertility issues. So in this program, you'll find a range of foods that are proven to dramatically boost male fertility levels as well, including a powerful ingredient proven to increase sperm count, quality, and motility. I also reveal how a study in the Journal of Nutrition found that men eating a higher amount of one particular food experienced a boost in their sperm count of a massive 65%. Plus another group of foods rich in a certain type of micronutrient that's been shown to improve sperm motility by over 50%, according to the International Journal of General Medicine. By following this program and giving their bodies all of the nutrients they need, couples are seeing results in a matter of weeks. In fact, thousands of women have already found the site, started following the program, and reported back with their incredible success stories. People like Kimberly Pierce from Houston, Texas, who said, "Hi, Sarah and Dr. Taylor. Thank you so much for all of your hard work in putting this program together. I had suffered from 6 miscarriages, and none of the specialists could tell me what was wrong. Within just 5 weeks of buying your program, I fell pregnant again. I was so scared that I would miscarry again, but I didn't. And 3 weeks ago, I gave birth to a son, Michael. Thank you from the bottom of my heart." And then there's Dee Murphy from North Sacramento, California, who said, "Dear Sarah and Dr. Taylor, your program is a godsend. I can't describe how amazing you guys are for doing this. I'd been trying to get pregnant for 5 years when my fertility specialist said I should consider adoption or donor eggs. She told me that I had a 3% chance of conceiving naturally each month. I was devastated, until my husband bought your program and convinced me to give it a try. We did. And in less than 2 months, we were expecting. Amazing." And even Kelly Walker from Swindon in the UK, who wrote to me to say, "I had been suffering from ovulation problems and a low number of eggs for many years, and my husband had a severe shortage of sperm as well as motility issues. All the doctors and specialists kept saying was, 'Go for IVF, go for IVF.' They never even talked about diet. I thought I was cleared up about these things, but your program completely opened my eyes to where we were going wrong. My husband and I followed your system to the letter, and within 60 days I was pregnant. We now have a beautiful baby girl who we've called Sophia. We have no words to express our gratitude, but thank you, thank you, thank you." With results like this, and thousands upon thousands of people thanking myself and Dr. Taylor for putting this together, you can probably understand why I considered charging $497 for this program. Sure, on the face of it, that might sound like a lot, but when you consider that each one of the foods, ingredients, supplements, and herbs contained with this program have been scientifically proven to dramatically increase fertility, you can only imagine just how powerful this program is when every single one of them is added together. Plus, when you consider the average costs of just a single cycle of IVF, which the American Society of Reproductive Medicine lists at $12,400, not to mention the additional medications, which increase that figure by anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000, then I'm sure you can see that $497 is just a drop in the ocean. But the truth is, I didn't set up this website to make money. I did it to put two fingers up at Big Pharma and the fertility clinics that are making billions every year from people just like you. And I did it so that I could help as many couples as possible start to grow their own families without having to go through the same pain, frustration, and heartache that Nigel and I had to go through before we discovered this program. And to be honest, I couldn't stand the thought that some couples might be denied the chance to experience the feelings that I've experienced and the joy that we've had as a family just because they weren't able to afford it. So for that reason, you're not going to have to pay $497. In fact, I'm not even going to ask you for $297, or even $100 for that matter. Instead, to get your hands on the entire Fertility Unleashed program, all I'm asking for is a one-time payment of just $37. All you need to do to lock in this special pricing is press the Add to Cart button below. But I must warn you, I honestly don't know how long this website will remain up for. You've heard Dr. Taylor's story and you know how powerful these companies are and that they'll stop at nothing to get what they want. So the truth is, this website could be gone by tomorrow, or even within the next hour. So don't hesitate. Take the opportunity to grab this program while you still can. Make the right decision for yourself and your partner before this site gets taken down for good. Simply press the Add to Cart button below to get instant access to Fertility Unleashed right now and transform your baby-making potential overnight with our proven, easy-to-follow, and 100% natural system. Once you make this important step, you'll be immediately directed to our secure checkout page. Or here you can enter your details, and then you will be instantly sent through to our exclusive members area, where you can access the entire program and download it to your computer, mobile, or tablet. This system details the exact pregnancy roadmap that has already helped over 16,000 women to tackle their fertility problems and fall pregnant in as little as 30 days. And you can do it too. But that's not all you'll be getting if you order today. As a thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation, and because both myself and Dr. Taylor want to make sure that you have absolutely everything you need to supercharge your fertility and fall pregnant as quickly as possible, we've decided to offer you two bonuses, absolutely free. The first bonus is called Fertility Boosting Recipes. You see, I understand that while we've provided you with the world's most powerful foods and ingredients proven to send your fertility levels through the roof, finding the time to put those ingredients together into a delicious meal plan can be tough, especially when you have so many other things to do. So we decided to remove all the hard work. In fertility boosting recipes, you'll receive 10 breakfast recipes, 10 lunch recipes, 10 dinner recipes, and 10 shake recipes, all crammed full of powerful pregnancy-inducing ingredients. And not only that, these recipes are fun to make and delicious to eat too. Fertility boosting recipes also comes with a ready-made 7-day meal plan, so all you need to do is follow the weekly menu to give yourself the best possible chance of conceiving quickly, easily, and naturally. The second free bonus that you're going to receive is called 20 Foods to Supercharge Your Sex Drive. I know only too well how mechanical and passionless sex can become when you're trying for a baby, and it's just not happening. And after many months of trying, most of us need a little help. In 20 Foods to Supercharge Your Sex Drive, Dr. Taylor has compiled the ultimate list of aphrodisiacs, including a summer staple that relaxes blood vessels in the same way as Viagra, a Peruvian herb proven in countless clinical studies to increase sexual desire in both men and women, and a fruit known to get couples in the mood by boosting the secretion of pheromones. But listen up, because I have even better news for you. I understand that you may be hesitant to go ahead and press that Add to Cart button because you feel there may be some element of risk when making an order online. I get that. So I decided to go one better. Both Dr. Taylor and I are so confident in the effectiveness of this program and its potential to literally change your life that we've decided to offer you an ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. If you are not entirely, and I mean 100% satisfied with the program, I want you to email me and let me know, and I will refund every single penny you've paid with absolutely no questions asked. This guarantee is purely for your peace of mind. The risk is entirely on us. But believe me, in a few months, or even just a few weeks from now, when you're staring at that positive pregnancy test, you won't even be thinking about emailing us for refund. You'll be emailing us to thank us for making this possible, to thank us for giving you the gift of life, a dream that you'd no doubt all but given up on. So before I leave you, I hope my message to you today is clear. Don't give up, because there is hope. You just need to take action and take that leap of faith. Because if you do, the results may surprise you, just as they surprised me and the many thousands of other women before you who decided to take one last shot and invest in this program. So all you need to do now is say yes before it's too late. And not only for your own chances of conceiving, but because this website could be pulled at any moment. I honestly don't know how long it will remain up for, so make sure you order today, because tomorrow it may no longer be here, and you won't ever again have the chance to gain access to Dr. Taylor's fertility boosting program. So right now you have 3 options. 1. You can leave this page and accept that you'll probably never have another child or any children at all. You'll never have the chance to watch your son or daughter take their first steps, speak their first word, go off to their first day of school, graduate, or get married. And of course, there will be no grandchildren either. And you'll be tortured on a daily basis as you're forced to continue listening to your friends and other family members as they talk relentlessly about their own children. 2. You can take a gamble and spend tens of thousands of dollars on an IVF or IUI procedure with no more than a 30% chance of success. Or 3. You can order Fertility Unleashed today for the price of a takeout and finally give your body what it's been desperately crying out for, the exact nutrients it needs to make a baby, the way nature intended. Remember, every single food, ingredient, supplement, and herb contained within this program has been scientifically proven to boost fertility. And you're getting all of them in one easy-to-use step-by-step program, complete with 40 delicious recipes, a 7-day meal plan, and to top it off, 20 foods to supercharge your sex drive to increase your chances of conceiving even more. So whatever you do, don't walk away from this opportunity. Don't live a life of regret. knowing that you gave up too soon. I often wonder, what if I hadn't decided to turn on the radio that night, the night that I heard about Dr. Taylor and her breakthrough research? And what if I hadn't tried so hard to find her, which eventually resulted in her handing over her program to me? If I hadn't done that, I would still be childless. I wouldn't have my 3 beautiful children. The thought of it sends shivers down my spine. This is your radio moment, and all you need to do is click the button. This has been Sarah Tanner, and I look forward to hearing your success story very soon.